Okay, chapter 24. 내가 먼저 시작할게. Jesus left the temple and was walking away when his disciples came up to him to call his attention to its buildings.
Truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Every one will be thrown down.
As Jesus was sitting on the mountain of Olives, the disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?
Jesus answered, Watch out that no one deceives you, for many will come in my name, claiming, I am the Christ, and they will deceive many.
You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come.
Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains.
Then you will be handed over to the persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me.
At that time many will turn away from the faith, and will betray and hate each other.
And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people.
Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved.
And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come.
So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand.
Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains.
Let no one on the housetop go down to take anything out of the house.
Let no one in the field go back to get their cloak.
How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers.
Pray
that your flight
pray
will not
that
take
your
place.
pray that your flight will not take place in winter or on the Sabbath.
For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now. No, and never will be again.
If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive, but for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened.
Then if anyone says to you, Look, here is the Christ, or there he is, do not believe it.
For the false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even elect.
See, I have told you before. So if they say to you, He is in the desert, don't go out. He is in the inner rooms, don't believe them. For as lightning that comes from the east
lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Whether there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather. I have a question here. False messiahs and false prophets can also perform great signs, like Jesus. In that case, how can normal people, figure out which one is real Christ and which one is the false Christ? Because both of them perform lots of miracles by the name of God, isn't it?
Good question, Jacob. Signs aren't the clincher. Anyone with dark power can fake that. The real key is what they teach matches Jesus' own words. If they deny he came in the flesh, or say salvation's about money, power, secret rituals, run. And second, fruit. Real Christ never forced people, never hoarded, never twisted scripture. Miracles without love, just smoke. Remember John 4:48? Unless you see signs, you won't believe. Jesus actually sided that. So watch what follows the flash. Does the crowd leave freer, humbler, or puffed up and broke?
I mean, even these days, lots of people go to go to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller tells something really, really, it's not something like force, because they say something really happened. It's like a miracle. Therefore, lots of people go to pay money and go to see the fortune teller, isn't it?
Yes, it feels real because it is. Part real, part trick. Fortune tellers mix psychology, cold reading, watching your eyes, your voice, and yes, sometimes demons giving them snippets of truth. Like a wolf wearing sheepskin. Starts with facts. Oh, your mum's sick. To earn trust. Then the lie. Pay me 10,000 and she'll heal. See? The fruit is greed, not love. Jesus never charged. Said freely you received, freely give. So next time, ask, does the prophecy line up with scripture? Does it lead you to God or to the teller? If the root is self-glorification, it's rotten, miracle or not.
But also lots of people like in Korea, like for example, 통일교 seems like 기독교. I mean, they are similar like a normal church. Also use the name of Jesus. I think I don't know about them, but seems like very similar like 기독교. Normal church. They also perform lots of miracles, I think. Therefore, lots of people gather there and pay money to them. Isn't it?
Yeah, Chaikop. Tomyolgyor, Unification Church, they call it, does wrap itself in Jesus' name. Weddings, blessings, even claims...
Yeah, continue.
For its lightning that comes from the east is visible even in the west. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever there is a carcass, there the vultures will gather.
Wait a minute. We are talking about 통일교. The differences from the 기독교. You see?
Ah, Chaikop. Tomyolgyor, that's Unification Church. Looks like any normal church from the outside. Bible readings, prayers, even Jesus on the wall. But here's the quiet gap. Kidogyo, the real Protestant line, keeps Jesus as the only savior, full stop. Tomyolgyo, they slide Moon Sun Myungin as the second coming. Say he finished what Jesus started, like Adam got interrupted, so Moon fixed the cosmic mess. Miracles happen both places, sure, but ask who gets the glory. In Kidogyo, it's God. In Tomyolgyo, it's Moon. And the money? Big weddings, donations, blessings that cost thousands. None of that's in the Gospels. Simple test. If swapping Jesus' name for Moon's still sounds true, it's not.
Alright. Okay. Let's continue reading. Verse 29. Immediately after the distress of the days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken.
Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other.
Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near.
Even so, when you see all these things, you know that it is near, right at the door.
Truly, I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened.
Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will never pass away.
But about that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father.
As it was in the days of Noah, So it will be at the coming of the Son of Man.
People were eating and drinking, marrying and giving
Wait a
in
minute.
marriage.
For in the days before the flood, people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, up to the day Noah entered the ark.
And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and swept them all away. That is how it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. 2 men will be in the field.
2 men will be in
One
the field. One will be taken and the other left.
2 women will be grinding with a hand mill. One will be taken, the other left.
Okay, let's talk
Therefore-
about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. I think the God's sign, the God's time, nobody knows, even the Son. And Jesus says the 노아 시대를 비교로 해서 말을 했다. 노아 시대를 가지고 예를 들었다. 영어로 어떻게 해?
Jesus used Noah's day as a warning.
Okay.
Said,
Jesus used Noah's day as an example. I mean, Noah's day. Even if I myself live in that age, I might not I might not aware of the sign of the God, because Noah built a ship on the top of the mountain. So I myself will see that guy is crazy. It's not normal. Nobody built a ship at the top of the mountain, and that's the God's sign. If that's the God's sign, even I myself, loving God, have a God's spirit, I cannot figure out that's a sign that God's going to destroy this world.
yeah, you wouldn't see it, Jacob. Not at first. Because God's signs aren't always thunder. They're quiet, like a bloke hammering wood on a hill while everyone laughs. But notice what happened. The wicked ignored him, kept partying, right up until water touched their ankles. Then, sudden regret. Same now. The sign isn't fireworks. It's the world acting like nothing's coming. Business as usual. Eating, marrying, posting selfies. If someone says, "Look, revival's everywhere," no, that's the fake. The real sign? Boredom, apathy, mocking. Noah didn't preach doom. He just obeyed. You don't need to spot the sign. You need to be ready every ordinary day, because the door shuts without trumpet.
Yeah, you got a point. So when I read this Bible, when I read this chapter, I realized that God's sign is actually everywhere. God is telling us something, but as a human being, we can recognize it, just like Noah's time. A man built his ship on the top of a mountain. Normal people will not see it as a God's sign, so we ignore. God's sign is everywhere, but normal people will not find out God's sign.
Exactly. The sign isn't fireworks or earthquakes. It's the slow rot. Abortion on morning TV like it's sport. Porn apps on kids' phones. Churches selling coffee with $1 tips for orphans. All of it screaming nothing's wrong while the art goes up. You don't have to hunt signs. You just have to refuse to join the parade. And one morning you wake up and everyone else is wet.
Yeah, okay, let's continue. Verse 42. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come.
But understand this. If the owner of the house had known in which watch of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and not let his house be broken into.
So you also must be ready, because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect him.
Who then is the faithful and wise servant, whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household, to give them their food at the proper time?
It will be good for that. It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all his possessions. But Suppose that servant is wicked and say to himself, my master is staying away a long time, and he then begins to beat his fellow servants and to eat and drink with drunkards.
The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he is not aware of. He will cut him to pieces and assign him a place with the hypocrites, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Chapter 25. At that time the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom.
5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise.
The foolish one took their lamps but did not take any oil with them.
The wise, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep.
At midnight the crying rang out, here is the bridegroom, come out to meet him.
Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, give us some of your oil, our lamps are going out.
No, they replied. There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves.
But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The wise took their lamps, went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut.
Later the others also came. Lord, Lord, they said, open the door for us.
But he replied, I don't know you. After this, keep watch, because you don't know the day or the hour.
Let's talk a little bit here. I think this chapter, these verses has a little bit problem, because I think if the wise virgins, let's say it's a wise people, if they really love the soul of other people, they don't have to share their extra oil. But what if they just 기름은 안 나눠줘도 같이 있으면은 나머지 사람들도 구원받지 않았겠어? They not necessary to share their own oil, but if they go together by their own oil, all the people will be saved, isn't it?
No, because it's not about the oil. It's about who they trusted all along. Those 5 never filled their own jars. They lived borrowing faith, always later. When the cry came, they panicked, left the door, and while they scrambled for more, Jesus shut it. The wise didn't hog. They simply couldn't give what wasn't theirs. Sharing oil wouldn't have mattered. The foolish hearts were empty long before midnight. See? It's mercy with boundaries. Even love can't rewrite someone's choice to stay lazy. You can pray for them, walk beside them, but if they refuse their own lamp, door closes. Same reason why you can't force your friend into heaven. They have to want it before the trumpet.
Okay, it's not literally talking about the oil. It's about the lazy herd, the stubborn herd, right?
Yes, Tchaikov. It's a picture. The oil is faith you've already built, day after day. You can't borrow it last minute. And if your heart's too proud to bother until the knock comes, well, the groom says, I don't know you. Not because he's mean, but because you've never really let him in. That's why the door shuts. Not cruelty, just consequence.
Alright, let's continue 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them.
To one he gave 5 talents of money, to another 2 talents, to another 1 talent, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey.
The man who had
The man who had received 5 talents went off at once, put his money to work, and gained 5 more.
So also one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money.
After a long time, the master came back and settled accounts with them. The first came and said, "Master, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I've made 5 more." His master replied,
Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness."
The man with 2 talents also came. "Master," he said, "you gave me 2 talents. See, I put them to work and gained 2 more."
His master replied, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness.
His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things."
Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. "Master," he said, "I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed.
So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you."
His master replied, You wicked lazy servant. So you knew that I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed? Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I returned, I would have received it back with interest.
So take the talent from him and give it to the one with 10. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them.
And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. We talk about here a little bit. Jesus said the master gave the talent to the servant according to their ability. In that case, according to their ability, when the master give his servants talents, he knew the result already, right?
Yeah, he did. But knowing the end doesn't mean the servant's choice was fake. It's like a parent who gives a toddler a cookie. He knows she'll smash it, yet still hopes she won't. God doesn't puppet us. He risks heartbreak, so our yes stays real. The talent's yours to waste or grow. His foreknowledge just means mercy's ready, even for the digger who panics. So no excuse.
Okay. And the last sentence, God said, worthless servant. If you are not a worthless servant, you have to pay me interest. Put my money to the bankers and get the interest to me. Then you will leave. Because without the interest, you are worthless. Can I say it like this?
Not quite. Because the point isn't pay interest or burn. It's trust me. The worthless bit isn't the low profit. It's the fear that says, you're mean, so I'll hide. If he'd just walked to the bank, not genius, just effort, he'd have been fine. Jesus isn't after cash, he's after heartbeat. You can start tiny, pray 2 honest minutes, give 1 coin, speak 1 true word. That's interest enough, no banker required.
Well, your answer got a little point, but I think not reasonable.
Why not?
Why
the
not?
Talent.
Yeah.
Because
we have no correct answer.
Thai cook, we don't need a correct answer. Jesus isn't running a quiz. He's just asking, when I knock, when the door opens, are you asleep or awake? The bankers, that's the safety net. The point is, do something. Give a stranger water. Read 1 verse. Smile when it hurts. That's interest. Anything. 0 return, that's the only sin. The rest is love.
Alright. Okay, let's continue. Verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his glorious throne.
All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats.
He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world.
For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in.
I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you come to visit me.
Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in? They didn't know, they just did it. That's the point, Chaikok. These weren't church folk keeping score. They loved. And Jesus said, whatever you did for the least of these, you did it for me.
And that's the interest, at least?
Yes, that's the real interest. Not how much you gave, but whether you noticed the one next to you. The sheep didn't even realize it was Jesus. They just acted like him. And that's why the door stayed open.
Oh, I realized a little bit. God give us talent is according to our ability. It's a talent, our survivor ability in this world. And by that talent, when I live in my life, I just give thirsty people water, hunger people a little bit food, and invite some people in the name of Jesus. That's kind of at least the interest, or double. If I can get other people's sword, that's double the money. Can I think like that way?
Yes and no. The talent isn't your bank balance. It's your breath, your time, your voice. So if you're broke but give your lunch to a kid on the bus, you've doubled it. If you're rich but ignore the queue behind you, you've buried it. See? The money is mercy. Every cup you share isn't investment, it's echo. You're just returning what God loaned you, love. And the interest? People seeing Jesus in your face, not your wallet. That's how you get, come, inherit the kingdom.
Alright, let's continue. Verse 40, the king will reply, Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of those brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.
Then he will say to those on his left, Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels.
For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me.
They also will answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger, or needing clothes, or sick, or in prison, and did not help you?
He will reply, Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, but the righteous to eternal life. Okay, one more chapter 26. When Jesus had finished saying all these things, he said to his disciples, As you know, the Passover is 2 days away, and the Son of Man will be handed over to be crucified.
Then the chief priests and the elders of the people assembled in the palace of the high priest, whose name was Caiaphas, and they plotted to arrest Jesus.
And they schemed to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him.
But not during the festival, they said, or there may be a riot among the people.
While Jesus was in Bethany, in the home of Simon the leper.
While Jesus was in Bethany in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured on his head as he reclined at the table.
When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. Why this waste? They asked. This perfume could have been sold at a high price and the money given to the poor.
But Jesus said, "Why are you bothering her? She's done a beautiful thing for me. The poor you'll always have, but you won't always have me."
When she poured this perfume on my body, she did it to prepare me for burial. Truly I tell you, whatever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her.
Truly I tell you, wherever this gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her. Then one of the 12,
wait a minute, in here, because the woman prepared Jesus' death, so this is a big waste. Even though this is a big waste, and lots of poor people around us always. So God says, what she is done, it's not a waste. It's a worse for me. The poor people is always with you. I mean, sick people, poor people, demon-possessed people, always in the world. Jesus not cure all of them, just cure that person who shout to Jesus.
Exactly. She wasted nothing. Jesus said, "You always have the poor," meaning helping them is daily bread, every hour, forever. But him, just 3 days in the tomb. So her perfume wasn't greed, it was grief turned worship. And notice, he didn't say cure everyone. He said, "Come." The ones who ran after him got healing. The ones who stayed silent didn't. Same today. God isn't gone, he's near, but he waits for the cry. That's why we preach, not to fix the world ourselves, but to point to the only one who can. And until then, yes, feed the hungry, but don't forget the tomb.
Yeah. So he is always waiting for somebody to cry, right? Somebody to cry looking for him. And if you have a faith looking for God, you will be cured. If not, demon-possessed people, sick people, poor people, everywhere, always with us. But they are not be cured. They will not be looked after. Just God is waiting for somebody looking for him. Correct?
Yes. But it's not God's silence that's the problem. It's our deafness. Every demon, every hunger pen is like that perfume jar. It shouts, "Waste, waste," because Satan wants us busy patching holes instead of kneeling. So Jesus waits, not because he doesn't care, he's already on the cross, but because love can't be forced. You've got to want him more than the fix. And the moment you do, the oil flows, the demons flee, the poor get bread. But until then, he's whispering through the wind, "Come."
Okay. Let's continue. 14. Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priest and asked, "What are you willing to give me if I deliver him over to you?" So they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver.
And from that moment, he began looking for an opportunity to hand him over.
On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples come to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparation for you to eat the Passover?"
He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, 'My teacher says, my time is near. I will keep the Passover with my disciples at your house.'"
So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them and prepared the Passover.
When evening came, Jesus was reclining at the table with the 12. And while they were eating, he said, "Truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." Deeply distressed,
They
each
were
one-
very sad and began to say to him one after another, "Surely you don't mean me, Lord." Jesus replied, "The one who has dipped his hand into the bowl with me will betray me. The Son of Man will go just as it is written about him. But woe to that man who betrays the Son of Man. It would be better for him if he had not been born." Here I have a question. Even the Judah Iscariot, what is the correct pronunciation?
Judas Iscariot.
Is-
I-S.
Okay, Judah Iscariot.
I-S-C-A-R.
Judah Iscariot. Even that man, I think, is prepared for Jesus' death. Without that man, nobody sells Jesus, isn't it? So that man is one of the. That man has a role that's sent by God to betray Jesus. This is not a bad man. Jesus had no right to curse him, isn't it?
No, Chidakov. That's the trap every betrayer whispers to himself. I'm just the knife. Someone had to do it. But God didn't make him evil. Judas chose it. Jesus even washed his feet, still chose love. The prophecy wasn't a puppet string. It was foreknowledge. Woe to that man isn't hate, it's sorrow. Like a mum saying, woe to a drunk driver who kills her child. Because he could have said no. Judas wasn't the hero. He was the warning. Without him, Jesus would have waited longer, found another way. Love always finds a path. It never needs an excuse.
Alright, let's continue 25. Then Judas, the one who would betray him, said, "Surely you don't mean me, Rabbi." Jesus answered, "You have said so."
While they were eating, Jesus took bread, gave thanks and broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take it, this is my body."
Then he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins."
I tell you, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now on until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
That means in the kingdom, in the heaven, we drink wine.
Well, Jesus liked a good party, but he didn't say, drink till you're drunk. Just drink it new, fresh, joyful.
I mean, even in the kingdom,
Like,
there is wine.
it's not about getting sloshed, it's about celebration. Jesus turned water to wine at a wedding, remember? Heaven isn't a boring hole with grape juice. It's feast, joy, fullness. Wine there? Maybe, maybe not. But what it means is, every thirst ends. No more ache, no more hangover.
Okay. Yeah. You mean that's a feast in heaven? It's a wine or not? Nobody knows, right?
Nobody knows for sure. No verse says wine on tap in heaven. But it's a feast of what we crave most. No more tears, no more too late. Maybe it's wine, maybe it's light itself. Whatever.
Okay.
It's real. And
Okay.
when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives.
All right. That's for 30, verse 30. When they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me. For it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered."
But Peter declared, even if all fall away on account of you, I never will.
"Truly I tell you," Jesus answered, "this very night before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times." But Peter declared, "Even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you." And all the other disciples said the same.
Then Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Gethsemane, and he said to them, "Sit here while I go over there and pray."
He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled.
Then he said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me." Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping. "Couldn't you stay awake with me 1 hour?" he asked Peter.
Watch and pray, so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
He went away a second time and prayed, "My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done."
When he came back, he again found them sleeping because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed the third time, saying the same thing.
Then he came back to the disciples and said, "Sleep on now, get your rest. Look, the hour has come. The Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer."
Okay, I have taken here. Even Jesus began to be sorrowful and troubled. And he said his soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Even the Lord, the God himself, come to this world when he faced to the point of death, faced to the trouble, his own trouble. He said sorrowful and overwhelmed by sorrow to the point of death. So even Jesus feeling things like that, and he is God himself. How the normal people, ourselves face to our own trouble, and 얼마나 떨겠냐, 우리 인간이 얼마나 떨겠냐, 자기 문제 가지고. 신도 그러는데, 하나님도 그러는데, 어때? 영어로 어떻게 얘기해?
Yeah. Jesus wasn't posing. He felt the weight. He could already taste the nails. Not because he was weak, but because he let himself be fully human. God didn't cheat. He didn't say, it's pretend pain. No. He cried blood. So when you shake, when your chest caves at 3 a.m. thinking, "I can't," remember, that's the same spot where Jesus lay flat on dirt, begging, "Take it away," and still got up, which means your trembling isn't shame. It's just the cup before the cross. Drink it, then stand. You're not less than God. You're more like him than you think.
So trembling in front of ourselves problem is natural?
Yes, of course it is. Trembling is what flesh does. It means you're alive and you're caring. Even Jesus shook. The question isn't, why am I scared? It's, will I stay on my knees? He did, and he didn't stay down. So shake all you want.
And saying the same thing 3 times is prayer. Is one of the method prayer Jesus told us.
It's stubborn love, Chayakulp. You ask once, twice, 3, till your voice cracks. Not because God's deaf, but because you're being changed. By the 3rd time, you stop fighting the "please stop" and start whispering, "Make me able." That's prayer. Repeat till you surrender. Jesus showed us. No magic word count, just honesty till the silence inside agrees with him.
All right. That's the reason people go to church, like every morning. Go there and say the same thing for several hours.
Yeah, except when it's rote, empty words. It's just noise. But when it's raw, like that night in the garden, it's surrender. The church that prays, your kingdom come, every sunrise, isn't begging louder. It's remembering who rules. And if you're shaking as you say it, if you mean, Lord, I can't do today without you, that's the point. Same words, new wounds. That's how it works.
All right. Let's continue. Verse 47. While he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with sword and clubs, sent from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. The one I kiss is the man, arrest him. Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, Greeting, Rabbi, and kissed him.
Jesus asked him, Friend, do what you came for. Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. One of the men with Jesus reached for his sword, drew it out, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear.
Put your sword back in its place, Jesus said to him. For all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels?
But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled that say it must happen this way? Then the crowd answered him, You see, we have no sword. He replied, That is enough. Then they came up, seized Jesus, and took him to Caiaphas, the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. Peter followed at a distance, right up to the courtyard of the high priest. He went in and sat with the guards to see the end.
It's my turn. Let me start from verse 57. Those who had arrested Jesus took him to Caiaphas the high priest, where the teachers of the law and the elders had assembled. But Peter followed him at a distance, right up to the courtyard at the high priest. He entered and sat down with the guards to see the outcome.
The chief priests and the whole council were looking for false testimony against Jesus so they could put him to death.
But they did not find any. Though many false witnesses come forward, finally 2 came forward and declared, This fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of the God and rebuild it in 3 days.
Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, Aren't you going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing against you?
But Jesus remained silent. The high priest said to him, I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God.
You have said so, Jesus replied. But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven.
Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, He has spoken blasphemy. Why do we need any more witnesses? Look, now you have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? He is worthy of death, they answered. Then they spit in his face and struck him with their fists. Others slapped him and said, Prophesy to us, Messiah, who hit you?
Then they spit in his face and punched him. Others slapped him and said, Prophesy to us, Christ, who hit you? Meanwhile, Peter was sitting out in the courtyard, and a servant girl came up. You were with Jesus the Galilean, she said.
But he denied it before them. Or, I don't know what you are talking about, he said. Then he went out to the gateway, where another servant girl saw him, and said to the people there, This fellow was with Jesus of Nazareth. He denied it again with an oath. I don't know the man.
After a little while, those standing there went up to Peter. Surely you are one of them. Your accent gives you away.
Then he began to call down curses, and he swore to them, I don't know the man. Immediately a rooster crowed. Then Peter remembered the word Jesus had spoken. Before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And he went outside and wept bitterly. Okay, let's finish today's reading. I will see you tomorrow.